Hey, you're not thinking about going into the cistern, are you? Nobody's told you about Hannibal? Ugh, why do I have to do everything round here? So, there was this guy called Hannibal, right? Funny accent. Used to go down into the cisterns looking for junk he could clean up and sell. One day, a few weeks back, he comes out and tells me the sister said he could hear spirits wailing. Of course nobody... Anyway, a few days later he goes back in. So I go down after him, and it's dark. And hunched over him was something that made my blood run cold. A creature. Like a corpse. What any sane person would have done. I legged it out of there. Put a sign at the door to warn the others. Well, it's your future.
And now, I make this solemn promise to you, good citizens. And now, I make this solemn promise to you, good citizens. Under my leadership, you will finally enjoy the freedom you deserve. And yes, no more shall you walk on eggshells. Yes. No more shall you walk on eggshells, fearing simply to live and breathe, because the tyrant Sentius told you it was forbidden. Remember, my first act is hereby, I hereby announce. A day of celebration, I announce. I hereby announce the day of celebration of poverty. deeply honored to have been elected your magistrate. Magistrate, yes, yes. Thank you, thank you. I'm delighted and deeply honored to be elected your magistrate. And now, I make this solemn promise to you, good citizens. And now, I make this solemn promise to you, good citizens. Under my leadership, you will finally enjoy the freedom you deserve. And, yes, no more shall you walk on eggshells, yes. No more shall you walk on eggshells. Live and breathe, because tyrant Sentius told you it was forbidden. Yes, my first act as magistrate, I hereby announce a day of a day of celebration. I hereby announce a day of celebration to mark the end of an era. Yes, yes. Very good. Did you just scale the wall to my villa somehow? I must remember to have words with that buffoon Domitius. Well, why have you risked life and limb? I'm Malleolus, and if it wasn't for this interruption, I'd be practicing my victory speech for the... I'm glad you asked. I'll find that these good people have suffered long enough. By declaring there's no such thing as the gold... Wait, don't tell me you've fallen victim to... Nonsense! There's no way you can prove that. You mean that book next to a golden statue in the theater? Tell me, how do you know that statue... What? Oh, I see what's happening. Surely, you're not one of those people who... I disagree. I'll be guided by what is best. True, but that is... You mean the children's fable exploited by... Of course not. But as I always say, if Sentius can't Look, if you're trying to find her, you may wish to check the... Of course, just to be clear, I'm afraid not. My name is Marcus Malleolus Gurgis. You seem to have confused me with someone else. You mean my heterochromia? I am guilty of nothing more than having different... And I'm hardly the only person with the condition. I like to think it is simply the way the gods have chosen. Well, I am not suffering from any... Unlikely. Are you insane? Why would I withdraw from an... Don't talk nonsense. There's no such thing as the golden... How could you possibly know that? Nonsense! This is not... I don't know how you know about my plans. And now, I'm going to enjoy watching Domitius... Now, get out of here! You outstayed your very limit... Get out of my villa before I have... All right, now you've crossed a line. Get out of there.
You? Who are you? Do you know you're here? You have to help me escape. I'm Centilla. I found a way out through the gate of Horn, but it's locked. So I told him about it, and instead of helping, he wants to keep us all here forever. Or until we're turned to gold. He's a monster. You have to let me go. Sentius, my adoptive father. Furies help me. I'll castrate and crucify him. I don't know. He said the gods are on his side because they don't want... Behind me, there's an aqueduct tunnel bringing water from outside the city, so it should lead us outside. The only problem is it's barred by a heavy locked gate, and he has the only key. I'm going to take that key from around his neck, even if it means I'm done caring about the Golden Rule. I just want out. There won't be enough time. There's no time. Wait, did you hear that? He's here. Quick, you have to let me go. It's now or never. What? No, you can't just leave me here. How can you be so heartless? I hate you. I spit on you. I hope Dis drags you to Tartarus. You're back. Have you come to let me go this time? What? It's no use. You'll make...
Harvey. We're finally alone. I assume you already know who I am. We have? I must have entrusted you with figuring out who the culprit is. Is that about right? Look, it's unfortunate, but all that matters now is... Now, I assume you sought me out again? Me? You know, you remind me of him. Al Worth. The fellow who came through the portal before you. Come now. Surely you didn't think you were the only one here. You see, my connection to the portal somehow preserves my memories from one loop to the next. Whether that was Proserpina's intention, but I'm surprised you hadn't noticed. Here I was thinking you were a little bit sharper than Al was. He was a moralistic fellow, never once and because of that fatal flaw, he relived this day. I watched him come through the portal each time, always a little older, a little more disheveled. And when he finally saw the futility of it all, as you're about to, it broke him. He drank a jug of wine, tied a noose around his neck, and took his own life, just before he was shot with a golden arrow. The next time I awoke, you showed up, but you've caught up to where... I mean, you've lived through the day, what, 5 times? Extremely impressive. And yet everything you've done, because there's no escape. Except the path that Al took, the path he wrote about on his tablet. What was it? So, you discovered my secret. So... Why? Isn't it obvious? Because I have grown attached to all this. My title, my beauty, and as long as this day keeps repeating itself, I get to enjoy it all, over and over again. I have found a way to prolong my life indefinitely, to cheat death. I have become, in effect, as... And why would I agree? You and your pathetic morality. Nobody cares. Understand that, to me, you've never been... You might want to think that through. If anyone so much... The only way you're getting this key, and if I die, I won't be... You see, it was my actions that brought you to this point in time. So that means if I die, you'll be flung back to your original time. I certainly hope not. In fact, I want it to go on and on for... What are you going to do? Beg the gods for help? Now, get out of my villa. I'm bored.
Are they? gracious. Looking a bit troubled there.
Still
Wonder
no
how
sign
much
of
one of
Scintilla.
these statues is worth.
I haven't slept right in 3 weeks.
Hello there,
too
partner.
hard on yourself. From what
I'm
I hear,
glad you're here.
nobody saw
I
it
think there
coming.
might have been some
Anyway, I thought you
confusion about my
stoics
little
weren't
practical.
supposed to
You
worry
see,
about
my
things
plan
you
was to
can't
give you a little
control.
fright. You know,
Yeah,
like
well,
two friends joking around at the
keep thinking
Saturnalia, and then surprise,
there is
I'd open
something
the.
I can
But
do.
when I opened it,
What
you were
if
gone.
she's out there somewhere suffering, waiting to be found?
Sounds
Partner,
like you're
I
torturing
swear,
yourself.
this is
Leave
just
that for
a
the gods.
misunderstanding.
Try
Look,
to relax.
why
Get
don't
some
you keep
rest.
our bow as
Tomorrow's a
compensation?
new day.
Fine, fine.
I suppose you're right.
It's a credit to. Very well.
Citizen.
I saw you slide down that rope before. There. And strange. There I was thinking. Anyway, I'm sorry to ask. What? How did you know I was trying to... You know what? I don't care how you knew. What did she... Venus, that is the best news I've ever heard in my life. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. You have no idea how happy you've made me. I wish there was something I could do to thank you properly, but I don't have much to offer you. In the rock tunnel, near the stairs, there's a little doorway set into the rock. Inside, if you look carefully, you can see a chest. Unfortunately, one of those golden huntress statues is blocking the path, and I'm not game to move it. If you can figure out how to get past it, I reckon there might be a small fortune waiting for you. I hope that helps in some way. I've bounced the idea around once or twice, mainly as a way of getting Dooley set free. God knows Sentius has never... But from what I hear, Malleolus has the election stitched up. And maybe that's not such a bad thing. I mean, he talks a lot about freedom, so... And how could you know that? I mean, I don't like... You overheard him say that? Oh, why does that not surprise me? Well, in that case, we need to find a way to make sure Malleolus... If you can do that, and Sentius is the only candidate left... even I... All right. Ah, it's you now. Well, I want more one, but there were more. Yeah, I spent try every. I got the next thing. That's thanks, friend. Anyway, that. Well, as much as I'd love to get out of here, but... Oh... All right.
See you around.
What is it, citizen?
Fortune's
I'm a
smile
legionary-
on you, sister.
I'm from... No, that... Ah, he's one of the better commanders. Treat you an inferior. I went. I don't. Of course. Well, as I always, I threaten if you because it's brutal. What's done is a walk. If you like. Well, by walk. See? Walk around. Good. If you... Not when the man's a sentient this place. I appreciate the thought. But you're new here. Alright?
I love your clothes. Oh, you're here. And I hope I'm not being too full. You're not like any Roman woman I've ever... What was that? Some kind of joke? I take back what I said. Let's just forget that ever happened, so we can at least do... You know, normally, I guess that went right over you. As a matter of fact, I'm happy to tell you all about it. So, how bad... Ha! It's hardly my... All right.
Keep
Salve.
an eye out for Centella, would you?
Cerberus lifts his triple head and lets out his threefold braying.
Livia, would you stop muttering like Medea over a cauldron? You'll scare away my customers.
They follow their trades, imitating their previous lives, but they are ignorant.
This again. You're in a world of your own.
Ah, a new face. Salve, and welcome to a little... what demon or spirit told... You went snooping in his... Have you... Really? Ah, poor fellow. I've heard that can really mess with a person's head. Really? That's promising. I'll keep an eye out for him. Nice to talk to you. Welcome back. Well, Malleolus is talking about loosening. My vote isn't for sale. Nice to talk to you.
Thank you. Thank you. I am delighted and deeply honored to have been elected your magistrate. Magistrate. Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. I'm delighted and deeply honored to elect your magistrate. And now.
Isn't the great temple majestic? A new face, Ave. Well, I suppose we'd first need to figure out which god that is. This might sound like a strange question, but please. Karen, you say? Why is that? The meme? So, a bit... So your people make hieroglyphics depict... I apologize. Have you spoken with any of the others? I really think you... I know, I just don't want to see what happened to Livy. Up until a few weeks ago, she was a perfectly productive member of... She was always so chatty, always seeking out newcomers and asking them where they were from and how they wound up. And then, she withdrew, stopped working, and but she just looked at us with... Look, it could be unrelated, perhaps, but there is a small chance. I just don't... Thank you. Now, go and follow the thread of... Come back to me once you've... Ave again. And did you notice anything? A pattern? That's true. I know I wasn't entirely sure how I wound up here. What else? Yes, I also had some... What else? Yes, it's... You mentioned earlier. I see. And was this... Because I've seen her before. This... But don't follow too closely. We can't have people thinking we're bathing together. All right, you're here. You were asking how I knew the young woman you met by the river was wearing a hood. Here, look down at the bottom of the baths. It's a little hard to make out in this light. If only we could see. Oh, what a marvelous lamp. But do you see it? Somebody waking up by a river in a forest to find a hooded figure with a coin. It's just as you described it, only your pronunciation is a little off. The name you heard wasn't Karen. It was C-H-A-R-O-N, as in Charon, the ferryman of the dead. Charon, who, in exchange for the right coin, helps the souls of the newly deceased cross the Styx, the river that separates the land of the living from the land of the dead.
When I dragged you out of the river, I thought you were never gonna wake up. I checked your pockets for ID, but all I found was some loose change. Feels like I've spent my whole life in a dead-end job with an endless commute. Sorry if I sounded cagey, it's just that I don't always get the best reactions when I introduce myself. My name's Karen.
I'm so sorry, my friend. I'm so sorry. I take it you know what this means. I'm afraid so. It's all starting to make sense. All these people whose last memory was running from the fires toward the river. It seems none of them escaped with their lives after all. Perhaps we should be It also tells us that the Golden Rule is the work of Pluto, the god of the underworld, and why his epithet has always been Father of Riches. I know it's a lot to take in, and you look as if you have questions, so I'll try to answer them. That was my first thought too. In the old stories, the underworld, but it was also possible for the living to reach it without dying, if... Oh, I'm sorry. I keep forgetting you're not from... Each of them is slightly different, whether the storyteller was Plato, Homer, Virgil, or Ovid. But they always involved the souls of the dead, meeting a grim ferryman named Charon on the bank of a river. It was said that he'd help the new arrival cross, only if they could pay him with... That's why it was once our custom to bury our loved ones with a coin in their mouths. Charon's... Of course, an obol was a kind of Greek coin, because... To be fair, the ferryman isn't exactly as the poets described, and he, she, they seem to appear to different people in different guises. You say you saw a young woman named Karen with a hood, and I once heard Kabash mention a stranger in a ram headdress named Kerti, and Rufius described meeting a stranger named Kumut Tabal, but whatever form this stranger took, they were always wearing a hood. I suspect the only way you'll solve this riddle... Good question. Let's see. In the stories, but that never made any sense to me. In our case, it seems Charon didn't take the coins we had. He or she merely checked we... So, maybe there's something special about the coins No. I mean, I had my suspicions, especially after Livia's ramblings, but Now that we know where we are, we have to figure out what to do about it, if we don't want to be cast into gold for it. We don't have much to go on, except the old story. Hercules, the demigod and son of Jupiter, Orpheus, a Thracian poet, Sisyphus, a king of Ephyra, and Aeneas, a Trojan hero. Hercules was able to leave the underworld because he cowed its god with his strength. Sisyphus and Orpheus both relied on their wits instead. They persuaded the goddess of the underworld, Proserpina, to help them escape. And finally, Aeneas was able to escape with the help of a spirit guide, who led him through So it seems you have two options. To confront the god of the underworld head-on, or It's a reasonable question, but the problem is, this place, and even if you could build a ladder big enough, just trying it would break the Golden Rule. All Romans try to avoid saying it, and the reason is you may refer to him as Pluto, if you wish, but you'll only be calling attention to yourself. Shh! Is everyone so blunt where you're from? That option would be the boldest, but also the only way to learn the truth. As I said, Hercules managed to overpower the god of the underworld, but he was a demigod. Are you telling me that I won't pretend to understand exactly what that means. So, if you... Who knows? Perhaps you're... But first, You'd need an audience with you-know-who, and for that, you'll need to... The problem is, the door has been sealed shut for as long as I've lived here, and there doesn't even... I suspect the answer lies in the desecrated obelisk in front of it. I'm not sure if you noticed, it looks as though somebody, or a series of somebodies, forcibly removed them, and in doing so, if you could recover and replace all 4 of those missing... It's the towering stone monument with 4 sides and a pyramid-shaped head that stands... You'll find them all over Rome. But of course they were looted from Egypt many years ago. It seems one of them made its way here too. However, this one is unusual in that each of the 4 sides is decorated in a different... That means you'll need to recover 4 different plaques. Good question. To answer that, we first need to ask who would have defaced the obelisk in the first place. It would have had the god's name engraved into it, so it may be, and there's only one group of people I know of. There's a cult in Rome that often argued they've been known to start fires, as well as deface religious monuments. If I were you, I'd go looking for them. Of course, but I did hear a rumor they have a secret shrine somewhere in the city. Perhaps, if you could find that. I don't know. But perhaps you should begin your search with the local Greek fellow, Georgius. His story. Perhaps Kabash, our Egyptian resident, would be able to tell us. But I did hear Aurelia is peddling rumors about him at the tavern. I'm afraid you're on your own with that one. But perhaps finding the other 3 will illuminate... As I mentioned, both Orpheus and Sisyphus were said to have persuaded Proserpina. The problem is, those are the stories of a poet, a self-aggrandizing king, and a brawler about their own heroic deed. First, Proserpina. It is. If the problem is, how do we commit? Leaving that aside for a moment, there is all... Truly? And you're only bringing this up now? Then again, I suppose you were worried. Can you tell me more? Is it the same voice? What kinds of... Fascinating. Perhaps, if she has indeed been abducted, tell me. Truly? Then what? Ah, I see. Then it seems you have made a great sacrifice. But unfortunately, I'm afraid your only other... All right. I would suggest, as for Livia, it seems she's been shouldering the weight of this... In any case, time is of the... May Fortuna guide you. Although...
Greetings, I'm Georgius. My friend, your words intrigue me more and more. And in a city full of Romans you are asking me? Because I am Greek. Let me tell you something about Greeks and Romans. My name is Georgios, yes. But the Romans, they do not care. They hear me say Georgios and they think, ah, he must mean Georgius. Good Roman name. It's time! The election's on!
You, Sisyphus, just as the ocean accepts, but it does not notice. Say it. Then it is true. I thought I saw it, but when I had to tell myself it was true over and over again. I must apologize if my words seem cryptic. He gives such an uncanny description of this place. I will do my... There is a downward path, gloomy with fatal yew trees. The sluggish Styx exhales vapor, and the wide, thorny waste is cold and pallid. And then, as the ocean accepts the rivers of all the world, so this place accepts all the souls. There the bloodless shadows wander without flesh. Others follow their trades. I hope I have done it justice. Wow, isn't that a big long back again? Not for a few weeks now. Last time I saw him, he was sitting at a table with Georgius, whispering about some job. I remember because they kept looking over their shoulder. The one word I kept hearing was vanishing. All right.
Golden Rule is real, you idiot.
For his attempt to deceive us all, Sentius is hereby found guilty of treason against the Empire.
What? I have committed no crimes. This is madness.
His sentence: to fight for his life in gladiatorial combat against Domitius. Here and now for your entertainment.
You have no idea what you're doing. You're going to get us all killed.
Wait, I exercise my right as a Vestal priestess to pardon him. I will not allow you to do this.
You're showing your true colors now, priestess. Your corruption sickens me. Domitius, ignore her. Proceed.
This is insanity. You'll doom us all.
Lies! It is time the Golden Rule was exposed for what it is. A children's fable, exploited by a treacherous leader to instill fear in all of us.
This is why he's in his gladiator gear. They've been planning this all along.
Shut up, all of you. The magistrate has spoken. I'm going to enjoy killing you, old man.
Impossible!
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
So? What? That's a big ask. But something tells me you're not... But...
Greeting. My friend, Ah, I knew this day would come. Please, let us leave. Very well, but the magistrate would not look kindly upon this. For several months now, I have been sneaking out at night to worship the gods of my ancestors in the temple of the... Each day, I leave offerings of food in the hope that we may have a bountiful harvest, and yet the next day... The offering, it is symbol. So I ask, who? Stranger still. Once I sat in front of my shop like the 100-eyed Argus until dawn to see if I could spot a thief gone. Nothing! Nobody entered. And yet when I went to take a look, when I told my friend Kabash of this at the tavern, he offered to help investigate. He went in and... It is the only Greek temple in the city. Head towards the baths, and it is the last building on your right. I do, but you do not strike me as a kind of... Hey, my friend. Ah, but... And in a city... My name is Yori. They do this. I am At first, I pull my hair up, but my point is that the plague you seek was built... he cannot help it. Like it. And besides, it makes him... I hope that our paths...
Help! You have to do something! A man arrived in the baths. A real nasty sort, with his face all covered up. And he's got a weapon. You have to do something. Thank you. I have to hide. Hear what? What? We don't have time for this. What? All right, fine. Come. Did you... What?
Come and join me by the fire. Welcome, welcome. It's a sincere... Tell me. Then perhaps the fates brought you here. I will tell you everything I know. But first, a request. The one thing I long for above all else, let us find out with this simple question. Excellent. I see you are indeed quite astute. Very... Now, will you join... Wonderful. Then let me begin with a question. Would you say you know the difference between right and wrong? And to what extent? In every situation? So, you're not in... That is quite sensible. I'm reminded of something Socrates once said. Better to know that you know nothing than to know nothing and think that you know. It is because knowledgeable people have learned enough to know. You see, out there in the world, being uncertain about right and wrong was so we would tell lies and bend rules and turn a blind. But under the golden rule, morality matters. So to navigate this maze, we would have to be certain about... So let me ask you this. Is there one system of morality which is always perfectly correct, which you could follow in every situation? Are you sure? Or is it possible that humans simply haven't figured out the right system yet? After hundreds of years, and as many great thinkers dedicating their lives to these questions, what hope do we have if our best and brightest haven't been able to answer? My point is this. I don't think anyone alive truly knows any hard and fast rules about right and wrong. If there is one thing I have observed about rules, it is that virtuous people do not need them, and evil. And so we must accept our limitations, and the sad truth that no human society will ever achieve the utopia for which, in mathematics, we would call it an asymptote, a line that can be approached but never reached. Because the only way to create a utopia is with the ever-present threat of force, such as the Golden Rule. This and no other is the root from which a tyrant springs when he first appears as a protector. And life under tyranny is no utopia at all. I'm glad to hear that. In any case, thank you for humoring an old man. I would be... You mean, how did I end up living alone in this cave with no... I was a quarrelsome young man. At 19, I left Corinth for Rome to study rhetoric at one. Back then, I used to enjoy verbally sparring with everyone I could, and I was good. It became heated. He drew a gladius, and I won the argument, but... I woke up on the banks of the Styx at a campfire opposite Karen. Of course, I tried to persuade her to let me return. I settled in, made friends, and learned what I could, quickly realizing our little community faced... So I began looking for a place to hide underground. Fortunately, I found this place. I returned to my friends above, persuaded them to join me, and 12... They are one and the same. The Romans call him Pluto, but long before that, my generation was wiped out. Turned to gold many years ago. I think it's safest to assume that if I was to return, I fear that if you were to utter my name in the city, even by mistake, that Hades would hear you. I'm afraid I am the only one left. There were 12, some from malnutrition, others from... It has been lonely. Before my unexpected... Living in darkness is not without its challenges. The first challenge is diet. And sometimes, when there are Greek people living up above, I surface at night and salvage the offerings they've left in. The greater challenge is the isolation. So I like so many things in life. As you will. Did we not discuss it at length? You seek the plaque bearing the Egyptian name. It is a cursed object, and I would be happy to give it to you. If I will tell you, but you may find him hostile. To prepare for your encounter, very few know this, but before the Romans came to this city, it was when the Romans came, in typical fashion, they claimed it as their own, built over everything that could be built over. Thus, the shrine of Persephone became the shrine of Proserpina. And when they found an obelisk bearing the name Hades, they tore it off, and the city's dwindling Greek residents, witnessing this compulsive Roman conquest, decided to preserve what they could. They gathered their art and valuables, secreted them away through the Temple of Demeter, and hid them here, out of reach of the Romans. I'm getting to that. You see, it was among these old Greek relics, an even older plaque bearing an Egyptian. We had no idea until years later. As a result of their deaths, we began to dig catacombs branching off from this cavern. We extended the tunnel so far that we accidentally discovered another. Suddenly it made sense why there was an out-of-place Egypt. You see, we proud Greeks had thought the Romans beasts for stealing and corrupting our heritage. But it turns out this game has been going on much. I think it is best you head through the catacombs and follow. There are certain things you must take this key. I enjoyed our chat. Ah, you've returned. Ah, you've returned.
Stop! Do not come any closer. Who are you? I am Kabash. And let me guess. Another Greek or Roman come to loot and plunder the resting place of my... To what end? That is welcome news. I was planning to return it myself, but for now, here, take it. Now, as for the other plaque. Indeed, I have it right. I stumbled across a collection of dusty curiosities while searching for a place to hide from the hungry children. You may not. In fact, I am about... Because it speaks a treacherous... I will tell you, but first... It has a name. See what has become of it. I have been down here for weeks. As Egypt declined and the Greeks had their turn to flourish, their souls, when they found the obelisk bearing the name Osiris, the true god of even the ferryman of the dead, known to my people long before, as if that desecration was not it. My only solace is that the Greeks then suffer. It is inscribed with a script I do not recognize, but it would imply the gods of Egypt, and that my people did to them what... I sense a deception. You will never know. This work of sacrilege must be destroyed, thrown into the... You are too late. It is done. You would plunge into the depths of the Duat with... If it will help you to see reason, then I am from Rakotis, which you may know as Alex. Since the Romans had taken over when the fires broke out last year, I tried to... On my 7th trip, a passenger demanded I wait for... I told him his brother would have to save... I awoke on the banks of the river to a... It did not dawn on me until much later. This is where I belong, as care... I think if someone is to break the golden rule, do to the doer to make... As for the punishment, I do not know. What... All I know is, it would be... Is everyone so contrary where you... Good. Big... Wait. You would plunge in... We When I told you that you would not find a way back up, that was not a prediction. That was a promise. You will die here. I disagree. I warned you against coming down here. You have undermined and dishonored the... Very well, I will listen. But if I sense deception, or if you further why should I let you live? Why? To what end? But that makes no sense. How would it honor him to place false name? Now that I think about it, my people would sometimes call Osiris the god, but the underworld of my people is so different to this one, and so unlike the way many of my ancestors endured great hardship to live good. We prepared to have our hearts weighed on Anubis' scales and to swear, and yet I arrive here to find the Book of the Dead. Did our priests steal and embellish the stories of an older people and feed us lies all out? I am not sure I follow. Speak. Now you insult me and all of my ancestors. You have sealed your own fate. Good. I welcome it. You see, the philosopher told me that each time I can only hope.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Salve, friend. Of course. Well, I want my... Yeah, that... Thanks, friend. All right.
Fear is proof of a degenerate mind.
Salve. I've bounced, but gladly. Because Sentius put in present. And how? Even I. Oh. Well, but it. All right.
That's quite an impressive bow you have there.
Salve, friend. I'm Octavia. Well... All right, well...
I can't believe this is how it ends.
Oh, no. No. No, 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 no. Ulpius, what are you doing? Get...
That's the idea.
What?
Why do you think?
I know, please.
I'm sorry.
Please, help him. If... Thank you.
You know about that? How is that possible? Well, if you say so, you don't understand. It's too late for that. Yulia and I, if I backed out now, I'd... No, I'm out. Wherever you are, Scintilla, my love, I'm sorry.
Ulpius, no! I'll have...
What are you? She need. What? Yulia? Hope that you just saved a person's life, and maybe in the meantime. That's a. Feeling all right? Sure. Do you? Glad. Oh, but anything. Us, but that's a.
Greetings and salute. Greet. My friend. I hope that.
Help! You have to do something. You. Thank you. What?
Hello? Hello. Do you like it? But if I... well... like... hilarious? Yeah, Galerius will let me out. You're go- Oh. You're... Hello?
You look well, my sartorial friend. And in a city, the place, and I hope that our path.
How'd you do?
Name's Rufius. No idea what... And I think you're an imbecile if you think that's... I have nothing to say.
Thank you. I am delighted and deeply honored to have been elected your magistrate. Magistrate. Yes, yes. Thank you. I am delighted and deeply honored to be elected your magistrate. And now. And now, I make this solemn promise to you, good citizens. Under my leadership, you will finally... Did you just scale the wall to my villa? Well, why have you... Look, if I had a Roman plaque in my possession, I'd be happy to sell it to you, but I... Of course... Look, of course, just... You... Wait. The person making... As you wish. I'm afraid not. I'm glad... I like... That's quite all right. You fool.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.